The Potomac is one of America's great free-flowing rivers, which are essential to the health of our planet and our livelihoods. Just 20 miles upriver from our nation's capital, the Potomac River Gorge hosts a wide diversity of migratory birds each year, and 240 rare species and natural communities have been identified here, 134 of which still remain. The gorge contains rare groundwater invertebrates found almost nowhere else on Earth, and supports the highest concentration of rare plants in Maryland, according to the Nature Conservancy, which works with a wide range of groups to find better outcomes for the environment. The gorge contains the largest intact block of forest in Maryland's Piedmont, and one of the most significant hardwood forests in all of Virginia. On its passage through the gorge to tidal water, the Potomac has one of the steepest and longest fall zones of any American river draining to the Atlantic. The elevation drops from 140 feet above sea level to 10 feet. The most arresting geologic feature of the Potomac Gorge is the Great Falls, where the Piedmont meets the tidal waters of the coastal plain. Geologists call this transition from higher elevations to tidal waters the fall zone. Above the Potomac Gorge, the river passes over the hard bedrock of the Piedmont, which is erosion resistant. As it rushes to pass through the gorge, it drops sediment into the river bottom below, creating a softer river bottom which erodes more easily. Over time, the drop of the world-renowned Great Falls has become larger. Meanwhile, the character of the forest is being reshaped by one animal species, the white-tailed deer, which has no natural predators to keep down their population. In competition for food, they eat the hardwood tree seedlings, so fewer trees reach maturity. 2 million people live and work in the jurisdictions which contain the Gorge: Fairfax County, Virginia, Montgomery County, Maryland, and the District of Columbia. So, the Gorge's special values come with special challenges and opportunities. As Americans' metropolitan areas expand further outward, we are challenged to do more than preserve some open space for recreation, says the Nature Conservancy. The bigger challenge is to preserve the natural systems that support life. Several ways the Great Falls Park meets that challenge is to have a trash-free park, which serves to remind visitors of what they consume and not to leave anything behind but a footprint or a bicycle tire print. You pack out your trash. Also, the river's force can be fatal, and posted signs not only save lives, but keep people from tramping over the riparian habitat at the river's edge. The footbridge gives a splendid view of the gorge, and the walkways over to Olmsted Island protect rare plants. Staying on the walkways is the best way to protect the natural systems of the Potomac River Gorge. In 1828, President John Quincy Adams broke ground to build the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal alongside the unnavigable Potomac River from the Ohio River to the tidewaters at Georgetown. By 1850, when construction ended, railroads had surpassed canals to carry goods for trading, and the canal ran far short of the Ohio River. But for 22 years, thousands of immigrants found work and hope of a new life building the canal. Mules pulled barges loaded with eastern coal, people, and other goods along the nearly level towpath through 74 locks along the 184.5 miles of the canal. Until 1924, when the C&O Canal Company went bankrupt, hundreds of families lived and worked beside the canal. The canal sat nearly abandoned for 30 years. U.S. Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas and other concerned citizens persuaded the federal government to protect the canal. In 1971, Congress established the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal National Park. Only one of the stone locks with massive wooden doors now functions at Great Falls Park, and from spring to fall, you can enjoy boat rides on a mule-driven boat. The tavern at Great Falls was made into a visitor center and museum. Thanks to Justice Douglas and other nature lovers, the canal was preserved, and hikers, bicyclists, campers, and others can experience the rich history, wildlife, and geology of the Potomac River Valley.